Hey taters, what's up fam? This is Tree from treeoflogic.com. I have some good news for you this time to talk about in reference to the black community. Whenever I see something good going on, I will do a video on it. But y'all know if I see something ratchet and messed up and hypocritical, I'm going to talk about that too. I want to introduce to you someone I've been following for several months now, and his name is King Randall the First, and he is doing a spectacular job in the black community. He is in Georgia, where I am. I do believe he's in the Albany area, so that's in the south. That's in the southwest area, I do believe. That's of Georgia. So he's doing wonderful things for black boys of single mothers, and I am so proud because he got an interview on CNN. Isn't it crazy? Hold on. We're going to go through his whole entire interview. I haven't seen all of it. I think I only seen the first minute of it. But Fox News did not interview him. CNN, don't get me wrong. Please don't think I'm like, oh yeah, CNN is good now. Oh, hell no. No. CNN bad. CNN New York is good because this is a local CNN station. They would never put this black man on a national CNN station, and they definitely wouldn't put him with Miss Don Lemon. Okay, so we're gonna go over that, but I want to point something out to you all, is that Roland Martin did an interview with King Randall about 3 months ago, back in March, and Roland looked like a complete idiot. He was just like, he was yelling like a unhinged black ratchet woman. Okay, he was like, if you want to look like, look, listen, this is how they look, right? Okay, look at his face, the old chocolate brother over here, old chocolate smooth brother, and look at Roland's face. This old pumpkin head. Okay, I'm not gonna leave a link for this. You're going to find this on your own. This was a hot mess, and let me tell you something. The likes to dislikes prove it. This is the first video that Roland Martin ever made where his likes to dislikes look like this, okay? Because he was so unhinged, he kept yelling over the brother, he kept talking over him, he kept interrupting him. He was just like so bad. It was like estrogen, testosterone, Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative. You see what I'm saying? I mean, now you can see who has the best looking people, okay? The left or the right. Clearly, this picture proves that scientific fact, okay? Anyhow, I can go on and on with that. But like I said, Roland should be ashamed of himself. His own audience even checked him and told him that he was just basically unhinged and irrational, and he's very, very butthead. But let's go over this. I wanted to go over this together with you all because I really want to give King Randall some publicity as much as possible. I will leave links to his Twitter and his official website in the description box below. So go ahead and check that out, okay? So let's go watch this together.
$2 trillion American Families Plan, and that's education, particularly given the evidence of widening inequality during the pandemic. Well, one community activist is not waiting around. 21-year-old King Randall is the founder of the X for Boys. It's a youth organization in Georgia teaching everything from literacy to car mechanics, skills they may struggle to acquire elsewhere. Just take a listen to some of their video.
I'm just grateful and I'm glad that my son got a chance, because in today's society, we need this.
King taught him a bunch of trade skills. He taught him things that he never thought that he would learn. And being a single mother, I thought that that was an asset, especially with a young boy growing into, adulthood.
It has taught me something different from my past. The program has helped me build myself to a better person.
And King Randall is now opening a school, and he joins us now. King, I am so excited to have you on the show. Thank you so much for making time.
Thank you for having me, absolutely.
You are 21, but when you were 19, you just decided, you know what, I'm going to be a catalyst for change. What made
Absolutely.
you make this decision?
Well, where I live in Albany, Georgia, our crime rate and our poverty rates are extremely high. And considering the amount of crime that our young men ages 11 to 17, as well as 17 to 25 were committing, I decided that I wanted to get up and start helping, because every time something happened in our community, everybody wants to have a meeting, but nobody wants to actually get into the community and work with these children who are without fathers, as well as knowing that we don't have any rehabilitation programs for juvenile offenders coming to jail. So I'm seeing children going to jail and coming back. Plus, I saw a lot of my classmates. I just graduated in 2017. Some of my classmates have been killed. Some of my classmates are in jail for the rest of their lives.
I can relate to this. I can so relate to this. Like, I think I stopped going back to where I grew up in Southeast DC many years ago. I think the last time I was there was probably in 1995. And just going back there then, it like half the people I knew were already had been killed, they're dead, and the others, no one knows what happened to them. And then the ones that were still there, they look so bad because of they were drug addicts, or they have they're currently still on drugs. Some of the women had so many kids, they were unrecognizable because of all the weight they gained. It's like a complete difference when when you go back to your area where you grew up in, and you see that, wow, you did, if you got out of that situation, you were better off for it.
Certain things, that they've done, but it's all because we need male figures in our communities to help our boys become better men.
There's so much in there, and I know you've been doing so much. You trained as a chef. You're handy with a car. You decided to teach these boys life skills. And one of the things that you and I have talked about outside of the TV was that these kids that you were talking to, 93% of them, they couldn't even read. They couldn't even begin to start helping themselves. And you started a book club. Just talk through some of the ways that you started to try and give these boys skills and how it worked.
Absolutely. Well, the first year of my summer camp, I ran a summer camp from my home. I had 20 boys come to my house every day. I taught in my dining room on a small dry erase board with little to no money. And while I was teaching every day, we would read books. And I started realizing that the children were having many issues reading. And so I was starting to ask them to read individually, and some of the children couldn't even read simple like cat and dog. And I'm asking them, how are you guys in the 6th, 7th, 9th, 10th grade, and you guys can't even read a simple book?
I'm going to have a video tomorrow that talks about this very same thing. I recorded it a week ago, but the whole situation with Cash, Garner, with him, those videos just took priority, and I will release that video tomorrow. So that's something I want you all to keep an eye out for. So yeah.
They couldn't read or write. This was about 12 out of the 20 children at first. And then I realized some of the others couldn't read as well. And I'm just like, you guys are in 12th grade, 11th grade, and you guys read like you're in elementary school. This is absolutely ridiculous. And some of them couldn't read or write at all. So I started a book club to help our young men. We started reading books every week. All through, I think it was August to December of 2020. And of course, during January, but then COVID happened, of course, in 2020, and we had to stop the book club. But we began the book club, and we got an 86% reading comprehension rate because our children were starting to learn how to read. They were starting to get the idea of what they were reading, because sometimes children will sound out an entire book. They would sound out an entire sentence and never comprehend what it is that they just read. So actually getting out with the children and being consistent with them and taking time out with them on a constant basis, we start to see the development of our children here in the city of Albany.
One of the other things that you teach, and it sort of caught my attention, was, and you've touched on it, the science of manhood. What do you mean by that? What's the science of manhood? And I know you have powerful women around you, so it's not about detracting from the powerful women, but it's the science of manhood. Explain.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad that you said that about women, because I have very powerful women in my corner. However, the science of manhood for me, I was raised in the hood per se, but we had 4 men in our community that helped us so much to become the men that we are. I had my stepfather, well, my former stepfather. He helped me so much. He taught me all these skill trades that I know. He taught me how to grow my own food. He taught me how to be a protector of, the women and the children of the community. Then we had the guy down the street. He and his son, they laid bricks. They taught us how to do cement.
Wow.
And they taught us how to lay bricks and things like that. The guy across the street, he was a truck driver. And I say all these things to say, all of the men in our community all helped mold me into who I am. And so growing up, I thought that all boys had these things. But as I'm going around and I'm teaching now, seeing as over 90% of the children that I deal with have no fathers in the home, and seeing how they're declining, I'm noticing that the science of manhood is extremely important, because I learned that from other men in the community. And there has to be men to raise men in our communities. And I think that's something we have to understand. So now that these children are getting male figures in their lives, and actual good male figures in their lives, I think their lives are starting to change for the better, because we have to understand boys will try and emulate the men that they are around, whether that be good men or bad men.
Yes.
And so we see an over influx of them running into bad men in the communities, and they're turning into or trying to emulate those men in the community that may be doing drugs, that may be in gangs, that may be doing criminal activity. And we'll say, oh, those children are criminals, etc. But we don't understand what led to that point. They didn't have any fathers in their lives. And many of the children, like I said, over 90% of the children that I deal with do not have any fathers in the home.
I've looked at some of your...
This is so amazing that someone has finally said what we always thinking. This is something you're never going to see Black Lives Matter deal with. This is something you're not going to see a lot of the race hustlers deal with. You're not going to see anybody like Al Sharpton or Attorney Crump the Chump. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to see these individuals focus on the real cancer within the Black community. Okay. And I keep saying this, I am absolutely blown away by the fact that CNN is doing this story, not Fox News, CNN. It makes you think, do these, who really wants to help the Black community? Who's really want to show someone doing something for the Black community? This is someone who is doing something. This is not a person who's doing all this talking. He's not doing talking. He's actually making things happen.
Your coverage, and you do at times get criticism for suggesting perhaps that the communities aren't that strong in the African-American communities. You're saying, like, hang around for your families, protect those around you and your community.
Yeah, it's the truth.
Your response to that and to that criticism?
Absolutely. Well, I always say I teach based off of my experience and what I experienced here in the city of Albany with our children. So, of course, we're going to get criticism. I don't think you're doing any good work if you're not getting any criticism. However, I don't really have to respond to that, because our children are changing their lives. And that's something that bears witness. You can disagree all you want to, but as you can't dispute the results. Our results are proven with our program, and it's going to show that what we believe is important is absolutely necessary, because these children are changing their lives.
Also, how are you going to argue with facts? How are you going to argue with statistics? But see, this is what I'm talking about. When you don't hold people accountable for their actions, you are actually giving them a pass to keep doing what they're doing. So this is a good point that Randall is making here.
Yeah, and these are tough conversations, and actually they have to be had. And I do want to make the point as well, and I want to talk briefly about the school that you're now launching, because I'm sure you need funding help for this as well. But this is not just about African-American children. This is about Latinx children. This is about white American children. This is about...
Oh, Lord, did she just say Latinx? Oh, I forgot. It's CNN. My bad. Latinx is not a thing. It's not a thing. Latin people do not refer to themselves as Latinx, okay? They just don't do that. But I forgot. This woman is out of New York, and she works for CNN. So, of course, she's giving her talking points, okay? Whew, I got triggered.
Empowering everybody. And I know you feel passionately about that. Your environment just is predominantly African-American, but you're doing this for whoever needs your help. Talk to me about the school.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be opening the new Life Preparatory School for boys this fall. This will be an all-boys school. We will be teaching the skilled trades. We'll be teaching automotive repair. We'll be teaching construction. We'll be doing different sports as well. We won't just be doing football and basketball. We'll try to get the boys into professional gaming because there's money to be made playing video games. We're going to get them into professional billiards, lacrosse, different sports that our children don't really get into because sometimes in the African-American community, we'll consider some sports to be white sports. And I want children to understand that you can go play sports. They aren't just for white people.
Exactly.
They're for you too. You can go and play different sports. But also, I want to foster an environment for children that think that they're worthless because that they may not be academically inclined. And I want children to understand.
King, I've run out of time.
Exactly.
I have to interrupt you. I tell you
That's
what,
fine.
if anyone has the
By the way, before they go, I want to say I totally agree about the whole white sports thing. I never experienced the whole white sports thing, but I did experience a huge, I don't know what to call this, but you can call it ignorance. But I wanted to play the violin. I'm not going to go into the story, but real quickly, I wanted to play a violin. I was given the opportunity to, based upon a grant, to play the violin and to be given a brand new violin. But I was disqualified because I was the only black child that wanted to play the violin, and everybody else teased me about it because they said playing the violin is for white people and that the violin is a white person's instrument. And so ever since then, it's like I totally get it. And I think that was the beginning of my hatred for the community that I was in at the moment, because it was just like so stupid at the time to say a violin is a white person's instrument, really? But I totally get it. I'm so glad he's broadening their minds to say, hey, there's no such thing as a white person's sports or a white instrument.
Back to my friend Yudu. Come back and talk to us when it opens, please. King Randall, founder
Absolutely.
of the...
Why isn't he on Fox News? Okay. That was such a good interview. I really liked it. So once again, I just wanted to showcase this with you all. And like I said, I will put his links in the description box below. Y'all go check him out. Donate if you can. Here goes his donation right here. So donate if you can. It will be greatly appreciated. So, I think he takes Cash App and Venmo too. So it's up to you, you know what I'm saying? Or you can mail it a check or a money order or cashier's check. So please help him out. He is actually doing something very good for the community. Or should I say the community, because it's a good thing. So help him out, and it'll be greatly appreciated. So once again, like I said, I'm going to show that video tomorrow about the school system. So be on the lookout for that. This is Tree from treeoflogic.com. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And also, please be sure to share this particular video. Show people that there are other men who are doing great things in the community, okay? And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so if you can. And I will talk to you all next time. Later, taters.